Hello everyone, welcome to another London Open webinar. Thanks so much for being here. Um, so let's start, and very slow start of the day. Today is Friday, which most of the time, it's it's a violent day, and so far has been a very slow day. But who knows? Things can change quite quickly, and we must, you know levels to work with if that happens. And starting with, let's start with the dollar index, and still, guys, locked in this kind of range. Yeah, so it's all about 98.74 and 98 handle on the dollar index. For me, it has been this for days now. Yeah, and nothing really changed. So I'll be watching to see if we can break these either sides, and then probably we will get some kind of continuation. Therefore, but for now, nothing much. What we can do rather than just wait and see which side does it break first. And if we see this 98 broken, guys, I think the next level we should keep an eye. It's around this 97.20 handle, right? Which is those last few lows here before it bounced twice very hard. So I'll keep an eye on 97.20 if we break to the downside. If we do start breaking to the upside, yeah, I'll be watching then the 99.30 zone, which is somewhere here, with the previous high. To be very, very honest, but for now, it's still locked. I'm not sure if we can break this today or not, but it's one thing I'm really keeping my eye on. So let's jump to the other market. So the euro, guys, is in a triangle here, and this one I'm watching today to see which side we can break. If I change this maybe to 6 minutes, you will see this in more detail. You can see here that we are pretty much locked, and it doesn't matter what side it breaks. I think if we do break, then we can see a continuation. But don't forget, yeah, the trend line that we have been speaking about, this yellow one here, it's really big for the euro, I believe. So if we do close the week above this trend line, I think next week we can, aim for 1150 area, which, keep in mind, has been really tough zone here for the euro every time it gets there. So if we do close above this yellow line, really good, nicely on the weekly, then I'll be aiming here next for the euro. If we do break down, guys, below this triangle here, then I'll be watching this 110 zone, and if 110 doesn't hold, then I will keep an eye on 0920, which is the double bottom that we have here currently. Let's go to the cable, because the cable has now dropping a little bit just now, actually. Very interesting to see the cable. As you can see here, really big nasty candle here, and this, guys, looks like a kind of inverted hammer, right? Or hanging man, actually. So let's see and wait on this hourly chart here. About 35 minutes to go to get this candle closed, so very early to tell. But it's one thing here to keep an eye on the cable today and see how it performs. But the cable here, let's going back to the 1 hour chart, for me to change my bias here, maybe from a bullish kind of trend on the medium term, to maybe range or even bearish. First, we need to see a close below 125, and 125, guys, it's pretty much this orange line here. So if we do have, if we do close today below that, or any point we close below 125, I think that's quite a bearish move on the cable here, and that's something for us to watch very closely, in my view. Yeah, so that's one thing to keep an eye on the cable here. Levels I'm watching, guys, is this 126 if it goes back to the highs. Yeah, and let me show you why. And because we have a trend line there, not the best trend line we have currently, but it's one that we can use as reference. So it's 126. See if we do have any reaction from there, and then take some actions there. But it's one thing I'm watching. for the cable here at the moment, if we do get there. So keep an eye on 125 and 126 for the cable. Dollar yen, not sure what to do. I was very long, very heavily long this pair, from this 106 zone all the way to here. Made a really good profit in this jump here on the dollar yen. But if you ask me, would I buy again now? I'm not sure what to do. I have reasons to do so, and I have reasons to wait a bit and buy again lower levels. So I'll be on sidelines for now, see where we close today, this week, and take from there. But we are reacting. We are finding support at this trend line here, which is this previous two lows and the low from the gap, and still holding. But I think this zone here, it's more important. I think if we do here, then if we come here, I think I will feel more comfortable being a buyer rather than buying from here, I believe. So I will keep an eye on sidelines, and hopefully we can get that healthy pullback on the dollar yen and see how it goes. Dollar Swiss, guys, very naughty, right? Very naughty here on the dollar Swiss. We just went lower, touched the S1, and straight away back to this inside of this rising wedge. So for me, if we do close in 30 minutes, if we do close where we are or higher, I think that's quite a nasty candle here, quite a bullish candle in my view. So if we do close here, then maybe sell the euro, believing that it's gonna break then that triangle. Swissy has this thing of sometimes breaking ahead of the euro, and use this in your advantage, right? Use this in your advantage. I think it's a great tool to use. That's why I keep an eye on both of them together all the time. And this rising wedge, guys, has been performing, and since we are inside, you should always try to buy at the bottom of this bottom line and sell and close your positions when we touch the top line, right? So that's one of the strategies here on the dollar Swiss right now. So keep an eye on where we close today, especially this candle, which we're gonna close in 31 minutes, and see how we go from there. Dollar Canadian, not sure what to do. I think it's in a range. I think between 133 handle and 132.35. I think until we are between these two levels, nothing really to do. I'm not sure what can happen there. The Oz, we spoke about the Oz yesterday on the London close, and I told you guys that the Oz should have been a lot higher because of the sell-off that we had on the dollar, and look what's happening, right? The dollar made a new low like 2 hours ago, and the Oz is still not even getting above this previous high, which was yesterday's high, which is incredible to see. So no reasons here to buy the Aussie whatsoever. I do believe the 618 is interesting, but even if we get there today, for example, I don't know what would I do. If I do get long there, maybe I would trade smaller than I normally do, something like that. Yeah, because I know that right now it doesn't really look that good. Doesn't really looks heavy, and you have to respect this. Kiwi, on the other hand, still very bearish. Yesterday morning and afternoon, so London open and close, we spoke about the Kiwi, and I told you guys that the pressure here is totally to the downside. And when we spoke about, we were around here, isn't it, on the 786, and I told you guys that I was strongly believing that the next area of to watch was this low. I didn't see any reason for the Kiwi to stop here and reverse from there, and we are getting close, very very close to this low, and I think we're gonna break it. And I have been telling this a few times already, and the only place I will try to do business on the Kiwi is when we get this at this trend line here, which is around the 62 handle. I think that's the only area that I think it's a good level, a really good risk reward level to play with. Rather than that, I don't see anything that helps me enter into a trade, because if I sell now, guys, I need to put my stop loss all the way here or even here to give the market space and have a valid stop loss. So for me, the risk reward to sell now is not great. So I'll keep an eye. We are only 82 pips away from that 62 handle anyway, so I'll keep an eye. Let's see if we can get there today, see how it goes, and see what the market does when it gets to that 62, which is very, very important for this market. Now let's check the other markets. So gold, guys, in a triangle. It's feeling some resistance right now. We spoke yesterday and I said that I believe that we are in a triangle, but I don't know if this was the top of the triangle or this other line was the top of the triangle. But I think we are feeling some kind of resistance here for a reason. So if it's still holding here, it's because this trend line now is what the market is watching. And to be very honest, we need to break lower today. We need to break lower today if this heading showed us is valid. Yeah, so we need to break this today if it's valid, because if we don't break today, that means we're gonna take quite a long time in here like that, and then you can see that this shoulder here is going to be very large comparing to this here, so that's not going to look great, and I would cancel this formation in my analysis. So if we do break today, I think that's going to be a good break, and then we can move, and then this formation is going to be valid, and we're going to aim for this 1400 zone in gold for a correction. So keep in mind this gold, see if we can break a lower, see how it goes, and if we do see gold really starting to get really big selling pressure today, I think it can bring really nice opportunities for us as traders to play with commodities here. S&P, guys, yesterday we came very close, very close to the highs, the record highs, which is here, is very close. So we came and tested very close to this last high. So who knows what can happen today? It can easily get to these highs here today, S&P. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But we are very close to see this happen if the market really wants to get there. So keep an eye on the S&P. If we start seeing breaking, I think the next level that I will personally be watching, if we start breaking to new record highs. Doesn't need to be today, but when it does, I think the next level that I will personally be watching is gonna be this 3,034. So 3034. I think that's gonna be somewhere here. I think they're gonna be the next test, and if that gets taken away, then I'll be watching 3050 for the S&P for the new levels, new resistance, new places there to really goes and see what happens there. DAX, same thing, guys. I think we need to keep an eye on the DAX today, just because as I showed you guys a few times this week already, we are at this trend line resistance here with 3 highs pretty much, and we are on the 4th time trying to break this. So if we do have a weekly close today above this trend line, I think that's quite a big deal, and very good news for any buyers out there. So I will keep an eye on the DAX today. I'm watching this very closely. I bought it very small today, pretty much where we are now, to be honest, and because I want to see because if we do close above this high here today, I think that's very good and very likely for us to continue seeing a continuation in trend to the upside if that happens. And I think that's all, guys. Nothing else that I can think of which is interesting today. I think we covered all the markets, so keep an eye on the euro, the triangle, keep an eye on the cable. Let's see where we close that 4-hour candle, and keep an eye on the dollar again. Let's see if we can spike higher, but not that great. Keep an eye on the QE as well, getting close to that 62 handle. That's very important. Keep an eye on equities, which we can easily, start breaking to new highs today if that is key. If the market really wants it, and it looks like it does. And for now, and keep an eye on as well on this dollar Swiss here as well, and let's see where we close in 23 minutes. If we do close in green here, it's going to be a nicely looking hammer, right? But we need to see a really good close above the trend line, yeah, a few pips above the trend line to show that, good confirmation. So yeah, those are the markets I'm watching today. I will be online again live in the market close, so around 5 p.m. London time. Yeah, and that's it, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I speak to you guys later today. Take care. Bye bye.